My cousin announced that his wedding would be held at my house before he ever asked my permission. When I told him no, he slid a recorded property deed across my parents' dining table and said, "You don't get to refuse anymore. Half the house belongs to me." My entire family stared at the document and then at me. For a few terrifying seconds, I wondered whether I had signed something I didn't understand. Then I saw the date beside my signature. According to that paper, I had transferred part of my home while I was on a work trip in another country. My name is Claire. I'm 36, and the house is a cedar farmhouse beside a small lake. It had belonged to my grandmother Ruth, but I didn't simply inherit it. 5 years before she died, I bought it from her at the value set by an independent appraiser. I took out a mortgage, replaced the roof, repaired the foundation, and spent nearly every weekend making it safe again. My cousin Tyler never cared much about the house while Grandma was alive. He came for holidays, took photographs by the lake, and left before the dishes were washed. After she died, he started calling it the family property, as though my name on the deed and years of mortgage payments were small details. Tyler became engaged to Paige the following spring. Their original wedding venue was closed after a safety inspection 3 months before the ceremony. 2 days later, Tyler called and said, "You have the perfect replacement venue." My lawn faced the lake, but it was still my home. The septic system wasn't built for 140 guests, the driveway was narrow, and my insurance didn't cover large events. I offered to help find another venue and contribute toward the deposit. Tyler refused. "It's one day," he said. "Grandma would have wanted the family to use the house." I told him Grandma would also have wanted him to respect the word no. After that, Aunt Linda and several relatives began calling. They said I was selfish, Paige was devastated, and family should help family. Then, at Sunday dinner, Tyler stood up and announced that the wedding problem had been solved. "We're getting married at the lake house," he said. People applauded. I said, "No, you're not." Tyler opened a folder and placed a copy of a quitclaim deed in front of me. It stated that 6 months earlier, I had transferred a 50% interest in the property to him for $10. The document had my name, what looked like my signature, a notary stamp, and a county recording number. Aunt Linda folded her arms and said, "Now the house is staying in the family, exactly as your grandmother intended." The signature looked real. The address and parcel number were correct. A copy of my driver's license was attached. Tyler leaned back and said, "I was going to tell you after the wedding, but you forced this." That sentence brought me back to myself. I checked the signing date, March 14. I had spent that entire week at a work conference in Vancouver. My passport, hotel records, flights, and company photographs could prove it. I took pictures of every page and said, "I'm speaking to an attorney." Tyler laughed. "Speak to whoever you want, it's already recorded." The next morning, a real estate attorney named Melissa Grant reviewed the documents. She explained that recording a deed did not make a forged transfer legal, but it could create serious problems until formally challenged. Then she found something worse. 3 days after filing the deed, Tyler had applied for an $85,000 loan against his supposed share of the house. He claimed the money was for renovations. Melissa believed he planned to use it for the wedding and his other debts. The lender had not released the money because the title company mailed a verification notice to my address. Tyler had apparently expected to collect my mail first. Melissa checked the notary information. The commission number belonged to someone whose license had expired almost 2 years earlier. My signature had been copied from an old roof repair contract. Even the tiny ink break in the letter C appeared in the same place. I knew where he had found it. After Grandma died, Aunt Linda had helped sort boxes in the study. One contained my renovation papers and an old copy of my driver's license. Melissa notified the county and lender, filed an affidavit disputing the deed, and prepared an emergency court petition. She told me not to reveal everything until the lender preserved its fraud records. So I stayed quiet while Tyler continued planning his wedding at my house. He sent guests my address. A rental company called about delivering chairs. A florist asked which door to use. Whenever I canceled a booking, Tyler told the vendors I was an emotional co-owner with no authority to interfere. Then he scheduled a family walkthrough for Saturday. I let everyone come. Tyler arrived with Paige, Aunt Linda, my parents, 2 wedding planners, and a photographer. He stood on my porch explaining where the bar would go when Melissa pulled into the driveway. I introduced her as my attorney and handed Paige a folder containing my travel records, the expired notary information, the signature comparison, and the lender's fraud notice. Paige read the loan application first. She looked at Tyler and asked, "You were borrowing $85,000 against her house." Tyler said it was temporary. I asked how stealing half my property could be temporary. Aunt Linda said Grandma had always wanted the house available to everyone. Melissa explained that Grandma had legally sold it to me, and no family promise gave Linda or Tyler ownership. Then I asked my aunt where Tyler found my signature and license. She looked away. Paige began crying. Tyler had told her I willingly signed over half the property as a wedding gift. He had also told her the loan came from an inheritance. Tyler blamed his mother. Linda blamed Tyler. They began arguing in front of the wedding planners they had brought to inspect my stolen home. Melissa told them the lender had referred the application for fraud review. The county had flagged the deed, and I had filed a police report. My mother whispered, "Do we really need the police? The wedding is in 6 weeks." I said, "The wedding deadline is not more important than the fact that they tried to steal my house." Paige removed her engagement ring on my porch, handed it to Tyler, and left with her sister. The wedding never happened. It took months and thousands in legal fees to clear my title. Tyler eventually admitted forging the deed and loan application. Aunt Linda admitted giving him the old documents, though she claimed she never believed he would actually use them. Some relatives said I destroyed Tyler's future over a wedding venue. I stopped explaining. He had tried to turn my home into a loan, my signature into a weapon, and our grandmother's memory into an excuse. My parents eventually apologized. Aunt Linda has never been invited back. Tyler and I no longer speak. I installed a locked gate at the driveway, but I kept Grandma's wooden sign beside the porch. It says, "Family is always welcome." For a while, I considered taking it down. Then I realized the sign was never the problem. Welcome is not ownership. Love is not permission. And being family does not give someone the right to take what you built because they want it for one perfect day. My cousin tried to take my house for his wedding, but the fake papers exposed something larger than a property scheme. They showed me which relatives believed my boundaries mattered only until those boundaries inconvenienced them. Would you have called the police or handled it privately to protect the family? Tell me what you think and subscribe for a new story every day.